These 5 things raise a stroke risk overnight. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, feeling lightheaded, your heart racing, or with a sudden headache that you just can't shake off? It's unsettling, right? But what if I told you that this might not be just a nightmare or stress? It could be something far more serious. Something silently triggered by what you ate just a few hours earlier. It sounds almost too incredible to believe, but it's the truth. As we age, the choices we make throughout the day, especially at night, have a direct impact on our health, and they could even be increasing our risk of stroke while we sleep. You see, the foods we enjoy before bed might seem harmless, but they could be silently setting off a chain of events in our bodies that makes us more vulnerable to stroke and heart issues. In this video, we're going to look at 5 common habits you may not even realize are dangerous. That could be raising your stroke risk overnight. Whether it's your bedtime snack, late night meals, or something else you've always thought was healthy, I am going to break down the hidden risks and share some simple steps you can take to protect your health. So, let's get started. This could be the most important thing you do for yourself today. Point number 1. The hidden dangers of nuts. Nuts, especially mixed nuts, are often seen as a healthy snack, right? They're loaded with protein, fiber, vitamins, and healthy fats. A handful of nuts seems like a perfect choice, especially in the evening when you're winding down. You've probably heard that nuts are great for your heart, help with cholesterol, and are packed with good fats. But here's the thing. Eating certain nuts, especially before bed, can actually raise your stroke risk. The problem lies not in the nuts themselves, but in the timing. You see, eating them at night could be doing more harm than good, particularly for people over 60. Take pecans, for example. They're rich, buttery, and are a staple in many holiday desserts. They seem harmless, right? But there's a hidden danger when you eat them late at night. Pecans are loaded with saturated fats and calories. Just a small handful can pack over 100 calories, with a hefty dose of fats that aren't as heart healthy as we might think. During the day, your body is active. Your metabolism is running, and you have energy to burn off the fat you consume. But at night, everything slows down. Your metabolism isn't as efficient, and your blood flow is more sluggish. Those fats that would have been burned off during the day now linger in your bloodstream longer than they should. This thickens your blood, making it more viscous. And when your blood is thicker, it doesn't flow as easily through your arteries. This sluggish blood flow could lead to clots forming, particularly when you're lying still in bed for hours. The risk of clotting increases, which in turn raises your chances of stroke. Now, you may be thinking, but I've been eating nuts for years without any issues. And that might be true, but it's the combination of timing and quantity that makes the difference. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that eating high saturated fat foods late in the day increases blood viscosity. The slower flow of thickened blood can be a perfect setup for clot formation while you're asleep. That's why those seemingly harmless handfuls of pecans or other nuts can actually become a silent threat. So, what can you do to still enjoy the health benefits of nuts without putting yourself at risk? It's simple. Instead of eating them before bed, save them for the morning or midday, when your body is better equipped to handle the fats. Try adding them to your breakfast, like in oatmeal or smoothies, when your body is active and your metabolism is working at its peak. This way, you'll still get the nutritional benefits of nuts, but without the hidden dangers that come with nighttime snacking. Point number 2. Pine nuts, the omega-6 culprit. Next up, let's talk about pine nuts. These little guys might be small, but they pack a big punch. They're often sprinkled on salads or blended into pesto, adding a rich, buttery flavor. And on the surface, They seem like a heart-healthy snack, don't they? After all, they're packed with nutrients and antioxidants. However, there's a hidden danger lurking in pine nuts, and it's tied to the omega-6 fatty acids they contain. Omega-6 is an essential fatty acid, meaning our bodies need it to function properly. But here's the issue. Most of us get way more omega-6 in our diet than we actually need, and we're not balancing it with enough omega-3, the healthy fat found in fish like salmon and flax seeds. When your diet is overloaded with omega-6 and lacks omega-3, it can lead to a few serious problems. Omega-6 fatty acids, in excess, can promote chronic inflammation in your blood vessels. Now, inflammation is something we often hear about in the context of joint pain, but it's just as dangerous when it happens in your blood vessels. When your blood vessels become inflamed, it weakens the walls of your arteries, making them more vulnerable to damage over time. And for seniors, whose arteries are already more fragile, that can be a big problem. Chronic vascular inflammation increases the risk of arterial stiffness, which in turn raises your chances of blood clots forming. Clots in the arteries, particularly the ones leading to the brain, can lead to strokes. A study published in the Journal of Lipid Research found that diets high in omega-6 fatty acids are directly linked to increased vascular inflammation. This kind of inflammation can make your arteries less flexible and more prone to damage. Imagine your blood vessels as garden hoses. When they're healthy, they're flexible, and water, or in this case, blood flows smoothly through them. But when the hose becomes brittle and stiff, it becomes more susceptible to ruptures, especially when the pressure increases. That's exactly what happens inside your arteries when you consume too much omega-6, without balancing it with omega-3. Now, I'm not suggesting you cut pine nuts out of your diet entirely. They do have some health benefits, and they taste delicious. But instead of eating them late at night, consider enjoying them earlier in the day. Pair them with your lunch or add them to your smoothie. If you love pine nuts and want to make sure you're getting the full range of healthy fats, balance them with foods rich in omega-3 like flax seeds, walnuts, or fatty fish. This way, you'll maintain that healthy fat balance, reducing the risk of inflammation and protecting your blood vessels from long-term damage. Point number 3. Hazelnuts, the arginine problem. Now, let's talk about hazelnuts. They might seem like a healthy snack option, right? Often roasted and enjoyed as part of a dessert or just eaten plain, hazelnuts are rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and healthy fats. But there's something about hazelnuts that many people don't realize. If you're someone who likes to snack on hazelnuts late at night, you could unknowingly be putting your blood vessels at risk. And here's why. Hazelnuts contain a high amount of an amino acid called arginine. Now, arginine is essential because it helps the body produce nitric oxide, which is responsible for relaxing and widening blood vessels, improving blood flow. That sounds great, right? Blood flow is important for keeping our bodies functioning well, especially as we get older. But here's the tricky part. When your body gets too much arginine, especially when you're not active, it can cause blood vessels to expand too much, too quickly, at the wrong time. For older adults, especially those with pre-existing conditions like high blood pressure or fragile blood vessels, this sudden change in vascular tone can lead to problems. You see, when blood vessels suddenly dilate, it can cause blood pressure to fluctuate in unpredictable ways. For instance, your blood pressure could drop rapidly, only to rebound with a sharp spike. These fluctuations can put undue stress on your heart and brain. For seniors, this is particularly concerning because your blood vessels might already be more delicate. due to age or other health conditions. If these sudden changes in pressure occur during sleep, it's a perfect storm for potential strokes or other cardiovascular events. There's also another risk to consider. Excessive dilation of blood vessels can lead to the rupture of smaller, more fragile blood vessels, particularly in areas like the eyes or brain. This is why hazelnuts, despite their healthy reputation, can pose a risk if eaten right before bed. So, what's the solution? If you love hazelnuts, and who doesn't? The key is moderation and timing. Instead of eating them at night, try saving them for earlier in the day, like with breakfast or lunch. That way, your body can process the effects of arginine while you're more active, and you won't risk destabilizing your blood pressure when you're supposed to be resting. And if you have a history of hypertension or any vascular fragility, it's a good idea to check with your doctor before making hazelnuts a regular part of your diet, especially in the evening. Point number 4. The silent danger of trail mix. Let us move on to another snack that might be hiding dangerous risks. Under the guise of healthiness, trail mix. On the surface, trail mix seems like the perfect choice for a bedtime snack. It's convenient, portable, and often packed with a mixture of nuts and dried fruits. It seems like a balanced snack, offering protein, fiber, and natural sweetness. But what many people don't realize is that most store-bought trail mixes are far from being as healthy as they seem. The biggest issue with commercial trail mixes is the added sugar, salt, and preservatives. Most of the packaged varieties you find on the shelves are loaded with sugary, dried fruits, candies, and excess salt. Let's break down why this combination could be setting you up for trouble, particularly if you're eating it late at night. First, let's talk about sodium. Excessive sodium in your diet is known to cause fluid retention, which leads to increased blood volume. When your blood volume increases, your blood pressure rises. If you already have high blood pressure, this is especially concerning. The danger here is that elevated blood pressure at night can increase the chances of blood clots forming in your arteries, raising your risk of a stroke. And because blood flow naturally slows down when we sleep, this makes it easier for clots to develop undetected. Then there's the sugar content. Even in its natural form, sugar can wreak havoc on your blood vessels. Dried fruits are often packed with added sugars, which can fuel inflammation in the body. This inflammation weakens the lining of your arteries over time. And just like high blood pressure, chronic inflammation creates an ideal environment for clot formation. The combination of high sodium and sugar in trail mix can be silently stressing your heart while you sleep, making it far more likely that you'll experience a stroke or heart attack. You might be thinking, I thought trail mix was healthy because of the nuts and fruits. And that's partially true, but it has the added sugar and salt that take a perfectly good snack and turn it into a danger zone for your cardiovascular health, especially if eaten before bed. So, what can you do to enjoy trail mix without the risks? The key is to make it yourself by choosing unsalted nuts and unsweetened dried fruits. You can create a much healthier alternative that won't send your blood pressure skyrocketing. You can even toss in some seeds or dark chocolate to add flavor. But make sure to avoid candy and excess salt. And even better, save it for earlier in the day. If you eat it in the morning or during the afternoon, your body will be more active and better able to process the sugar and sodium, reducing the strain on your heart while you sleep. Point number 5. The hidden risks of salted almonds. Now, let's talk about one of the most popular snacks out there. Salted almonds. They're crunchy, savory, and seem like the perfect healthy choice. You might even snack on them in the evening, thinking that they're heart healthy and good for your brain. But if you're someone who reaches for salted almonds, especially in the late hours, there's a hidden danger you may not be aware of, and it comes from the sodium. Almonds themselves are nutritious. They're rich in healthy fats, fiber, and vitamin E. But the issue arises when they're coated with salt. Just 1 ounce of salted almonds can contain up to 200 milligrams of sodium. Now, that might not sound like much, but when you eat them late at night, especially if you've been snacking mindlessly, the sodium can quickly add up. And here's where things can get risky. Sodium increases blood pressure by causing the body to retain water, which increases blood volume. When you're lying still in bed, your heart isn't pumping as vigorously, and your blood flow naturally slows down. The extra sodium in your system, however, keeps your cardiovascular system on high alert, raising your blood pressure even when it should be low. For adults over 60, particularly those with hypertension, even a small increase in sodium can significantly affect your health. Elevated blood pressure at night makes you more vulnerable to silent strokes or heart attacks, which are often undetected until it's too late. The problem is that when blood pressure spikes, your arteries have to work harder to pump blood through them. This can cause stress on your blood vessels, increasing the chances of damage over time. Now, what can you do if you love almonds but don't want to risk your health at night? The solution is simple. Opt for unsalted or lightly salted almonds, and enjoy them earlier in the day, when your body is more active and better equipped to handle the sodium. By making this small change, you can still enjoy the health benefits of almonds without putting unnecessary strain on your heart and blood vessels while you sleep. Conclusion: protecting your health with smart choices. So, there you have it, 5 commonly enjoyed snacks that may seem harmless, but could be silently raising your risk of stroke while you sleep. But don't worry. The good news is that you don't have to give up these snacks completely. It's not about eliminating the foods you love. It's about changing when and how you eat them. By simply adjusting the timing of your snacks, choosing healthier alternatives, and being mindful of the ingredients, you can continue to enjoy your favorite foods without risking your health. Save those nuts for earlier in the day when your metabolism is working at its peak, and avoid the extra sugar and salt that can sneak into many prepackaged snacks. With these simple changes, you're not just protecting your blood pressure and blood vessels, you're investing in your long-term health and well-being. Remember, your body is amazing, but as we get older, it becomes more sensitive to what we put into it, especially when it's time to rest. Small changes in your eating habits can have a big impact on your heart, your brain, and your overall quality of life. You don't need to be perfect, but taking small steps to protect yourself can make all the difference. So, let me ask you, are you going to make a change? Which of these snacks will you be more mindful of next time you're hungry? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Health with Seniors to stay up to date on more tips and insights that can help you stay healthy as you age. Remember, your health is in your hands, and every small choice adds up. Thanks for watching, and take care of yourself. See you in the next video.